What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to The Juice. We're your hosts, Wyatt Frank and Shane Campbell.
Cheers.
And we're back, man. We've had some exciting episodes that we just recently did. I hope y'all got to see them with Mr. Brian Robertson and Mr. Brandon Belt.
Yeah, Sports Week.
It was Sports Week.
We recorded both those the same night and then uploaded Brian's first and then Brandon's the week of Christmas.
Christmas, right? Yes.
Yeah, Wednesday before Christmas. And then we took a week off, mostly because everybody kind of caught the Ronita. There's that Transformer variant or whatever going around.
Yeah, still going around.
Yeah. So took a week off, and Happy New Year, everybody.
It is 2022, folks.
God, that's weird.
Big year ahead.
Yep.
Big year ahead. And in 2021 was tough, but we got through it.
Yeah, it was a good year overall. I mean, for the fishing industry, a lot of cool things happened. Season's over, and now it starts again.
It's here tomorrow. First BFL of Rayburn is here tomorrow.
Yeah, Friday night, Sam Rayburn, first weekend of January. We roll out quick down here in Southeast Texas.
It's time to go, and we ain't even got our main boat ramp up, and we're still sending them.
Yeah, they're fixing that. That's gonna be a nightmare for y'all tomorrow.
Yeah,
have fun with that. I bailed on this BFL. I was like, no, weather, wind, boat ramp closed. Nah.
It's probably a good call, and the weather's gonna be tough. But hey, speaking of 2021, we got one of the guys that was absolutely on fire here around the Sam Rayburn area. But he did some big things this year that made national.
Man. Thanks, man.
You did have a hell of a year. You did. I mean, you weren't Cowboy of the Year, but
that's you.
No, but seriously, this guy, it's who we're having on tonight is Derek Mundy. If you haven't heard of him, you've probably been living under a rock.
For sure.
Like I said, local guy around Rayburn and stuff, but made national headline, news, you may call it, this past season, 2021. He had weighed in a 40-pound bag in the BFL last year, which was this one that's coming up.
Yeah, the first one.
First one of the year, and then he weighed in another close to 40-pound bag on day 2 of the Toyota and won that event as well. So, like I said, we don't really do a lot of local stuff on just particular to Rayburn, but this was kind of a national.
This sent waves across the nation about what was going on, and it's good for us here at Rayburn because there was people coming from everywhere. Like, we got to get down there. There's 13-pounders and 40-pound bags everywhere. Right? Right?
It's not OHIV, folks.
No, it's not, but it's a really, really good lake. Derek makes it look really good.
Yeah, he went on to have a really good year after those first 2 big wins for him, and we'll discuss that as we get into it, man. I'm really excited to talk to Derek, and let's
jump in it.
Let's holler at the guy.
Okay, let's call the guy. We're calling him on a landline.
Hey, this guy,
who's got a landline anymore?
This guy's got a home phone, guys.
That's what happens when you live in the boonies.
He lives on Rayburn.
Yeah, he lives up there in the sticks.
Yep, got a dang home phone.
Wonder if it's got a cord, or if it's cordless.
It's got to be at least cordless. Let's ask him.
Hello.
Mr. Derek Mundy.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the Juice, sir.
That's right.
We were just making fun of you for having a home phone, but it's really not your fault. You live out there in the woods.
What?
Is it? Do you have it? We got to know because we just discussed it. Is it cordless or you got a cord?
No, I can't get too far. It's a cord.
Hey,
dude, I am picturing one of these ones on the wall in the kitchen with like a 20-foot cord.
He's just walking around the house.
Yeah.
I just kind of walk around with a cord and it gets all tangled up, and you got to kind of walk in a different direction.
That is awesome.
Dude, I didn't know they still had those. How's that thing work?
That's awesome.
Well, man, we were just kind of tooting your horn a little bit there, or at least Wyatt was. I thought he was talking about me for a second, but no, he was kind of alluding to 2021 being a phenomenal year for yourself. But let's not start there. Let me ask you a little bit about your history first, because we kind of do that with everybody. When did you start bass fishing, tournament fishing, Rayburn, all that?
Man, I fished since I was a little kid. I can't remember the exact places, but I've done pretty decent in the Little Anglers division of the old McDonald's and my stepdad used to work at Lufkin Industries, and we'd jump in that old mill tournament. And, we'd do all right, but I fished in and out of tournaments probably since I was, probably 10 or so.
Wow. So it's been a part of your life for a long time.
Oh, absolutely.
Always around Rayburn, or did y'all live anywhere else, get some other experiences?
Pretty much Rayburn. I did move in with my dad over in Louisiana when I was in at the end of my 8th grade year, and we fished some tournaments and stuff over in around Black Lake and Red River, and which is totally different than Rayburn,
Mm-hmm.
But I've always fished pretty much my whole life.
I got you.
That's awesome.
Well, it shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's jump into 2021, one of the biggest years anybody's ever had probably on this lake. So, starts off with the BFL, which we got coming up tomorrow, but walk us through your BFL catch of last year.
It was a pretty cool tournament, I was pretty much relying on one spot going into the whole tournament, and they was there and caught them all, in like the first 15 minutes or so.
I got you. And so you knew that? Did you know there was 40 pounds there, or do you think it was less than that?
I felt like, that there was a very, very good potential of 35ish, because that's you're trying to. I guess you're going off other tournaments and all that, and like 35 is like a really, really big bag on Rayburn. So when you see like what I saw, I was like, that's probably 35 pounds. I never would have dreamed I'd have caught 40.
Mm.
Yeah,
you got a kicker bite that day. What was your big one in that BFL?
A 11-10.
That was the big one?
Wow. Okay. The 13 was in the toy. Okay.
So what does it take for those of us who have not caught 40 pounds? What does it take to get to 40?
Yeah. What was your small one?
Oh, I don't have no clue, because that big one, I didn't think I had 40, because when I caught the big one, I was calling her. I was like, oh, that's a 10. So the rest of them, I was like, well, if that's a 10, this one's this and this one's that. And I was like, oh, I got about 35,
So you didn't think you had 40?
I'd never dreamed. Even when I got there, I looked at these fish 40 times during the day, And,
I bet.
Making sure that they were having a good time there in the live well. But
So you didn't beeline it to weigh in when you're done? Because you said you're done, 15 minutes?
15, 20 max.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, you wanted to help try to get your co-angler some fish, though, right?
Yeah, it didn't work out. I had a salty grass stretch, I felt like, and I was floating down that thing backwards, putting him in the juice, and I just, I don't know. It's typical Rayburn,
It just didn't work out.
What happens during the week don't necessarily happen on the weekend.
Wyatt had already been through there.
That's probably what it was.
Probably so. I'm going to get him this weekend, though. I feel like I'm going to draw a pretty good boat number here, and I'm going to go ahead and see him right out the gate.
Gonna beat him to the juice.
Yeah.
So when 40 pounds hits the scale, you like, oh my goodness, I did not know that was what I had.
Oh, it hit it. I probably was bug-eyed there at the scales, because I really, really, really did. I ain't never put 5 fish like that in a live well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you have on one side of the well, or did you use both?
Oh, I had to use both. I put 3 on one side, and they held each other up.
Good
together, and then put the 2 in my code side.
Man, I can only imagine that feeling of when the scale reads that, the turn director says that, just your heart had to just sink in your chest. I mean, that's just got to be a crazy feeling.
Like you never, and it probably never happen again. But it's a pretty.
What are you talking about?
You did it literally. What was it? 2 weeks later?
Yeah. So now let's jump to Toyota Series. So then you go. When is Toyota Series after that? How much time passed between?
I think it was 3 weekends prior.
Okay.
After, yeah.
3 weekends apart.
Yeah, three. Okay, so 3 weeks. But he goes into it, and correct me if I'm wrong, but day one you had like 12 pounds.
12, 13, I think.
Did you start where you caught the 40 in the BFL?
Well, I did actually start there. I felt like I could catch a kicker there, but there was some other stuff that I'd found that I didn't think that nobody else was hitting, and I never could get them to fire that was remotely close. But it's kind of funny, like leading into that tournament, I was like, God, I was talking to my dad. I was like, I don't know if I know people know about this spot. I don't know if and he told me, he said, you probably got better chance of building some wings and flying to the moon than finding a different spot or whatever. And I actually found that other spot. You know what I mean?
Jeez.
That's insane, man. I mean, so coming into that event, you know, you just got 40 pounds. Eyes are on you, obviously. You're obviously going to be a favored pick to win in that event. You know, you got a lot of, you know, I don't want to say maybe not self-pressure from yourself, but there's some pressure coming for that event. So I know you had to, at least that was in your mind coming into that Toyota, and it doesn't work out. Well, I mean, you kind of at least saved the day. I know 12 pounds isn't a big bag on Rayburn, but the weights were kind of down, so 12 at least saved your day for day one. And then day two, you went swinging again, and you bring in 39 and a half, or what was
just shy of 40. What was it?
40?
I think, yeah, it's 39.10, I think.
Okay, so basically another 40-pound bag.
Or no, 39.7 is what it was. That's what it was. 7 ounces.
40 pounds.
It was a big bag. And, what was your big one on day two?
Oh, 13, 13.10.
I'm gonna put a picture of that up here when we're watching this. So it's gross.
Sure, that thing is retarded.
Second or third cast?
Golly.
That was the first fish of the day?
Oh, first fish of the day. I put her in the live well, and I asked Joe Hayden, I was like, how big was that fish? And he's like, man, that thing, that's a real big fish. And I was like, it's probably like 11, huh? And he's like, no, that's 13. I was like, no, ain't no way that's 13 pounds. And he's like, yeah, it's 13.
Yeah, well, Hayden's a hammer. When Hayden says it's 13 pounds, you better listen.
I know. I should have listened to it. And then when they asked me up on stage how big it was, I just took Hayden's answer. I mean, Caden's answer. You know.
Yeah, Caden.
I kept saying Hayden. I was like, who are y'all talking about?
And I know Caden. He's gonna be mad at me for saying that. Sorry,
yeah, Caden he's a little fisherman himself.
Yeah.
So you catch that day two, and then you're going into the final day. How big of a lead you got?
Well, hold on. I want to talk about the catch, because this is. I don't think people realize just how much weight.
Okay.
I mean, 40 pounds is ridiculous. So you catch a 13, then what's your next four look like?
Well, the next two come on like a 2 cast later, and it's just kind of guessing going off of what I weighed in. Those was a 7 and an 8. It was the next biggest fish, or the next, like number 2 and number 3 was on the next, like on the second cast on the same bait.
That's right. You caught a 7 and an 8 on the same. I was going to say, was this?
Oh, you doubled up.
Yeah, you doubled up.
Doubled up on.
Right, it was a big one. He jumped out of the water and went down, and then all of a sudden it got heavy. Like I was like, oh my God, this is the strongest fish ever, you know. And I'm trying to get it to the boat, and I get him up there, and it's 2, and Caden, he's Johnny on the spot. He's like, I don't know how he got there, because it was like when I pull them up, one's like going one way and one's going the other, and how he got both of them in the net at one time, he had the deal down.
So now you got 3 for 28.
Is that what he's got?
Yeah,
I'm lost.
A 13, a 7 is 20.
It's probably
so
over 28.
Yeah, so he's got 28 some change, 29, whatever, possibly 30 for 3. Then what?
I'm like, they busted up. They're like all crazy. I mean, they're just everywhere. Like they busted like a covey of quail, you know. And then I was like, oh, I can go catch some 2 5-pounders in the grass. And I went and done that for a while, and that didn't happen. And I was like, man, I wonder if those fish are still there. So I go out there, and I go out there with a Carolina rig, and then like 5 casts, I've got the other 2 in the boat.
Wow. 2 5-pounders, basically.
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't never just.
Who cares after you have a 13?
I just know I got them big again, boys.
And I didn't even. I swear, I didn't even think I was close to 40 in that one. I thought I had. I really was kind of like kept adding them up in my head and kind of coming up with about 36 to 37.
Yeah.
I never would have dreamed it'd have been almost 40 again.
Jeez.
And then you go out the final day, and
you go to those spots, you leave them alone. What was your lead going into the final day?
No, because I mean they hand me an iPad and say, "Hey, guys, we're gonna follow you to your spot or whatever." And I head out and I look behind me and I see all these people follow me, and I was like, I got 12-pound lead. Ain't no way I'm going to the juice.
There's a 12-pound lead.
12-pound lead going to the final day.
Yeah,
Spectators.
12-pound lead. So I was like, let's go hit a spot that I caught a bunch of dinks on. Or like I had a little offshore spot. I thought I could catch a little 3-pounders. But I went out there and there's everywhere, and I couldn't catch them to save my life. So I went back to the grass and caught a limit. And this is crazy because I felt like if the offshore deal didn't work, I thought I could make a top 10 in the grass, and it didn't work. And I went and caught like 5 or 8 pounds, which is tiny for Rayburn.
Yeah.
And I go back out to the spot where I thought I could catch a limit of 3-pounders and jump 2 7s off at the end of the day, like within 5-10 casts, jump 2 7s off, and like I was like, man, it just ain't meant to be. And it was getting down to last cast, and I saw a submarine come through there on that 360, and I was like, I had the rod strapped down.
No kidding.
And I picked out a trusty crankbait, fired out there one more time, and caught a 10-pounder.
Oh, didn't you? Did you foul hooker?
Right under the dorsal fin.
Just when you were thinking it wasn't meant to be, and they showed you.
Hey, that's why they clean living.
Yeah.
I've been rest the white so much, but that clean living pays off.
The fish gods shined down on you and said, "Here, we'll let you snag a 10-pounder on your
What did you end up?
cast."
What did you end up winning the tournament by, though?
I think about 14 pounds, maybe.
So if you take away that,
well, so we need to back up though, because Bonds also had a big bag on
36.
the second day, right?
Oh, absolutely. The second day, he wrecked a giant bag.
36.
Yeah.
And if he would have caught his, like going off his average that he weighed in, because he had one dink. If he'd have weighed in that just a 5-pounder, he'd have caught a bigger bag than I would have.
He'd have busted the 40 mark.
Oh, absolutely. He would have. I mean, he had a better average. He weighed in 4 of them. It was over 8 pounds.
Yeah.
God. Well, so Bonds has 36, but he had a bad day one. I think he had like 6 pounds or something day one.
Me and Bonds, and we talked prior after the tournament that we had the exact same game plan going in. And I just got lucky and one upped him every day.
Yeah, because
I had a bad first day, he had a bad first day.
But you just had not as bad as the first day. And then that last day, you caught on the last cast was like a 10-pounder, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Okay, and then so Bonds had one close to 10 that final day too.
10-4.
Yeah, Bonds had a big one.
But I should have had a great bag. You know, I jumped 2 of them off easy in the 7-pound range.
Damn, he should have had a big bag.
Probably 10-pounders.
So, and Bonds had one close to 10 that final day too. He didn't even wait for big bass though, because Derek had that 10.
We had a 13.
A 13, yeah.
So,
anyways, that's
nuts. Is what that is. That's nuts. So I want to dive into the other side of that, and that's So now you got all this attention, right? You brought all this attention to Rayburn, yourself. Your phone's blowing up, I'd imagine. I mean, not just from all your friends and people who don't know you and got your phone number and want to ask you where you caught those fish, but industry people. So sponsors start reaching out to you. If you're willing to share, I know you and I have talked about this, you and wife talked about it 100 times, but I'd like to hear the Strike King story, because during the BFL, did you not catch them on a Strike King crankbait? Is that fair to say?
Absolutely. I'm not going to lie. I caught them on an 8XD.
Uh-huh.
And right after that tournament, Strike King contacted me, and they wanted to know what my favorite 3 baits and my 3 favorite colors in those baits were, and they was going to send me a little goodie bag,
Mm-hmm. Well, it should be a good goodie bag, not a little old goodie bag, a big goodie bag.
Right, and I'm pumped because, man, everything I've ever done bass fishing, I paid for it. I've never had. I don't even know if I've ever had anybody knock the taxes off at a store, for any purchase I've made. And so I'm kind of stoked. Well, heck, it's coming around Toyota time, and I've got a limited supply of my trusty 8XD, and man, it ain't nothing come in the mail yet. I'm panicking. So I go raid the stores and get what's left. And
which there wasn't much left, because once you told everybody you caught on my 8XD, I mean, you basically sold 8XDs.
Yeah.
Out the wazoo.
Right. And it and I like the crank. That's not a bad crankbait.
It's not a big seller until you start catching on them. I'm just going to tell you. It really wasn't until you did that.
It runs a little on the flat side.
Uh-huh.
And the only reason I was throwing that particular crankbait is was for profile size.
Yeah, because it really doesn't go any deeper than a 6XD, does it?
Mm-mm. No, it in a 6 is depth-wise is pretty much the same, but where I was catching them, I was feeding on real big gizzard shad, and I felt like the 10 was too aggressive, so that was the only reason of me choosing that bait. And that was the only reason, period.
I got you.
And I've had to make a really, really long cast just to really get down to them, because of the flatter diving angle.
Yeah, for sure. So you get your Strike King goodie bag. Did you get it before the Toyota?
I didn't even get it until after a Toyota. I had to go, and I was like, golly, I waited till like the day before, and I went and bought a bunch of. I just raided every store in East Texas, to get enough to make it. Well, after a Toyota, they're all excited because I caught them on it again. And I didn't want to break it to them, but I was like, it's been like a month and I ain't got it yet. The baits that, whatever. I don't want to feel entitled to anything, but.
No, but what you did was it may never be done again. I mean,
and they didn't get it there before the next event.
Massive feat, and then the sales, the direct correlation of what you did to sales, to bait sales, there is no denying. Mm-hmm. And you deserve
absolutely.
to be rewarded.
One of the wholesalers had me on their front page, to sell those baits or whatever. But I wake up Sunday morning, I slept in because I was tired. I got up at 1 o'clock in the morning the last day. I couldn't sleep. It was funny. Barnes, later, he said, man, I almost messaged you on Facebook because I saw you was active at 1 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't sleep either. But Sunday morning, I slept in. I wake up, and I have a message from Timmy Horton, which I feel like one of the greatest crankbait fishermen ever, is sitting there, is texting me or messaging me the day after tournament. I was like, man, that's cool. So I call him up and he sends me, or he wants me to try out some Z-Boss lures, the Profound Outdoors Z-Boss lures, and And he said, I only want you to sign if you like them.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. I mean, I'll try it out. You know what I mean? And like I said, it shows up 2 days
after the call. Boom. There it is.
That tournament.
Wow.
And I rolled out there. My first fish off one of them was a heavy 9. And I played around with them a little bit more, and they have a different, somewhat of a different action that was different to me because I'd never fished with them. And so I wasn't so sure about them, but I was catching them on them. So, I mean, you can't argue with them. When you catch a fish on Rayburn, it's big fish like that, they don't lie.
Yeah.
And so anyways, it goes on a few days later, and then finally the Strike King stuff shows up.
After the profound?
After the profound. And this is like, it's 2 days. Like, I don't know what they spent to put it on my doorstep, but it's this box that I was like waddling through the door with, you know, and get it out on the living room floor to look at all these baits, and I was like blown away, you know, because I ain't never had nobody send me nothing for free, you know what I mean?
That was Profound that sent you that much?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And then like, I think that was on a Tuesday I got those, and it was a Thursday when I got the Strike King, and I had won that BFL on January the 2nd. So we're in February, and I finally get their stuff in. And so I was kind of excited and all that, and that's what I always threw, you know, because it was, I mean, let's face it, it's on the cheaper side and it's available.
Yeah.
And, man, I got that box in and opened it up, and I had 4 of the baits that I told them I like, 3 or 4. I think it's 4, the bait that I like, and the rest was like, they raked the pegs and just threw it in there.
So it was kind of
and in the T-shirt size, they asked me what size shirt I wore, and I told them large, and it came in all extra large. I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but I mean, why ask the question if you don't care?
Yeah, no, and I'm not trying to get out there and put you on the spot to sound like some entitled fisherman by any means, but the point is, you got a bunch of attention from your accomplishments, and you had some powerful names reach out to you in the industry, and one of which truly should have rewarded you for selling so many baits. Like I said, the 8XD was not a popular seller until you did it, and they just totally dropped the ball. I mean, it's almost embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean,
a little bit.
I mean, I don't want to bash Strike King by any means.
I'm all over that train right now.
I don't want to bash the Strike King.
I'm all over that.
I'll be straight up. I'm not going to knock the catchability off of Strike King crankbait whatsoever. But you can buy 10 of them.
Oh, I know where he's going.
I'm not going to throw no shade. But if you have 3 that run true out of the pack, you have done something.
Yes, sir.
That's true.
Tournament, they had pictures of me taking them out of the pack, and they thought it was so cool and all that. And little do they know, the only reason I was taking new crankbaits out of the pack is because every crankbait I was throwing was hitting the bottom and blowing out and running to the top.
Dude,
God,
and I was getting so mad, and I was trying everything I could do to keep that crankbait from blowing out once it hit the bottom, and I could not do nothing. And when you have a hot school, you have 0 time to tune that crankbait.
No,
you can't sit there in a cove and sit there and try to tune these crankbaits. You know, I mean, you got a 200 boat field in a small cove. You ain't got room to tune crankbaits, and who wants to do it?
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
No, I want to go.
True.
So I was out there just the other day out in Rayburn, and I'm not dogging Strike King because I love a 6XD. I catch a ton of fish on it. So I'm out there. I tie one on my favorite colors, pull it brand new out of the pack, throw it. You know, I make about a half cast just to see which way it's running because I know automatically when I pull it up a Strike King package, I already know. I got pliers in hand, ready to go. Lob it out there, running this way. Tweak it, lob it out there, running that way. I'm like, man, I barely tweaked it. And I did this about 5 or 6 times, took the scissors, snipped it, and I threw that sucker as far as I could, opened up a new one in the package, did that one about 3 or 4 times, finally got it to run right.
Yeah.
And you catch 3 or 4 fish on it, got to tune it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's up, Strike King? They make great baits. They catch. No. I don't mind.
I mean, I'm not going to knock them for catchability whatsoever.
They catch fish. I mean, they're really good crankbaits.
But man, you have to buy, and they're cheaper.
Yeah.
But the volume that you have to buy to make a tournament day.
No, you're.
So you won't tune them
right.
if they don't run right out of the package. You ain't tuning them, or will you?
I'll tune them in practice, but I can't. I don't have the time.
I got you.
Because anybody that's tuned a crankbait knows how finicky it is to make that thing run right.
No, you're right.
And I can't invest 5 minutes in tuning a crankbait when I've got a potential 30-pound bag out there ready to buy.
Yeah, and the reality is when you tune them, you actually weaken that line tie there.
Absolutely, you're bending it back and forth, and you can't see with your eye how much you've moved that line tie.
No, they definitely have. No, there's no denying it. No, everybody that's thrown one knows. It's not a secret.
Strike King is not going to care what my opinion is, but I'm just sharing it.
It's very true.
I mean, they're absolutely a fish catching crankbait. There's no doubt about it.
I love them.
While we're on that, I will say, since I've started throwing profound and you started throwing profound, them things run true out of the pack, and it's hard to find one that won't. Seriously.
Oh, absolutely.
And every single one of them.
I can promise you they'll catch every bit of what a Strike King will.
Yeah. No, I think so. I've kind of just started throwing them. I didn't want to be a bandwagoner, so I didn't pick them up till this year. I was like, Wyatt's going to.
They're nice.
No, they are. They're quality crankbait for sure. And you don't have to tune them.
I'll have it plucking away tomorrow. I'm sure my man Derek Mundy will too.
Anyway, I know we went off a little tangent there. Talking some smack.
Go. We've been talking smack for a minute. Let's go on to the next subject here.
Okay, so another thing that kind of goes down that doesn't get talked about when somebody like yourself does what you did and catches on that kind of fish, there's always the thought in your mind when you're rolling out to these spots, who else knows about it? How do they know about it? Who am I going to have to share this with? You know what I mean? You kind of have those dark thoughts. You're like, I can't be the only one that found these. Maybe not. Maybe Derek's like, nah, that's just me.
No, he's got to think. You think like that.
There's always that fear.
Yeah.
There's always that fear that somebody found it. But I will tell you that if you're willing to put in the work, you've already beat most people out there.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
That's a fact.
That's true. Except for the guys that go and hole sit, right?
That's it. I guarantee it. I know one out there right now that's been out there for 3 days straight hole sitting.
We talked about that.
I don't know what they be fishing coming up, but they hole sitting.
Derek and I were all the photo the other day, and I'm out there idling around. You get bored when you idle all day, and I called Derek. I'm like, hey, man, you out here idling too? And I think you had just gotten off the water or something. He goes, hey, you want to know where a 25-pound bag is? Just go look for so-and-so. He's sitting on it. Won't let anybody get near it. He was pissed.
Oh, I guarantee it. It's a 25-pound bag all day long. I mean, it's got a 20 fish sitting there, and
he won't let anybody near it.
It was. I went and checked it because I was really thinking about starting the BFL tomorrow there, and it's so funny. He shut down there in front of me while I was going idle. He come out of nowhere and sit down there and probably throwing a bait out there with no hook or whatever, and just sits there. And I was like, I didn't realize who it was until a little bit later, but it's pretty comical how
you got history with that fella.
This is guard fish, you know.
This is part of the drama that no one knows about, or like no like the public
talks about.
Nobody talks about it, and this is the kind of stuff that happens behind the scenes. It's total.
The thing
craziness.
is they're not smart enough to know that they're not going to catch him, because he's sitting there on top of them, putting boat traffic on them, and they're
educating them
like a deer in the woods. You go and hunt this area. If you want to hunt it every day, you'd run a woods drive deer in that area.
They get educated.
They smell you. They get. I mean, they would end up choosing a different part of the woods to live, and it's the same way with that guy right there. I'd bet the farm that he don't catch him just because he's been sitting on him for 3 days straight.
Why is he even sitting? It doesn't matter. But this is
he's security. He's playing security guard.
This is the kind of stuff that happens, and it's not. I guarantee it's not just Rayburn. I guarantee it's every major tournament lake around the country. Stuff, maybe not this exact kind of thing happened, but stuff like this happens, especially after you do what you did. It's a good thing. It was great for you because you got a lot of publicity. So there's a good side to it, and there's a bad side. The good side is you got a bunch of publicity. You made national headlines, and it was big for you and your brand. And because as a fisherman, that's what you have. You have your own brand, and you built it great. But then there's a bad side. You got a giant target on your back, and you got when there's big enough money on the line, like we fish for on Sam Rayburn, people do some crazy things, and this is the kind of stuff that goes on that nobody really knows about, and this is what the juice is about.
Especially when it's bigger names that are out there maybe doing some of this stuff.
Yeah, we're not just talking about
absolutely.
Somebody that hasn't been competing,
part of a team that's very well accomplished on Rayburn.
Yeah, we don't want to name names just because of
doing that. They tried to do it to me when I caught the 40 pounds, but he was sitting on the wrong spot.
So I wanted to back you up to the BFL. So this guy that is playing security guard for this 25-pound sack right now, this is the same cat that was there and watched you, attempted to sabotage. I'll let you tell the story, but he was there when you caught the 40 in the BFL, was he not?
Well, yeah, absolutely. He was out on the perimeter, and I don't know if he was there to watch how I fished it.
Yeah, that's not what I'm saying.
Or he was sitting on the wrong spot. I think he was sitting on the wrong spot.
Mm. Well, he was sitting there.
He had old tricks up on high and had a rooster tail behind that Phoenix trying to get over there in front of me and cut my cast down, but by then it was too late.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So he comes up to you and he starts casting towards you, just trying to – you feel like he was trying to sabotage your day?
Well, he wasn't casting towards me. He just runs up there and tries to shorten the length of my cast to that crankbait so I could get down there. And he's fishing out the other way, and he wouldn't even look at me.
Oh,
well, a man won't look another man in the eye. There's something going on.
Yeah, so he was up to no good. A little shady business going on.
Close enough we could talk just like we're talking right now.
Ooh.
Wow. I didn't realize it.
And he turned his back.
And you didn't say nothing? There was no drama, no confrontation?
No, I'm kind of nice.
Yeah, no, I agree. No,
you're telling him to go to the bank, But
yeah, no, you're right. And you're in a tournament, and you're trying to keep a calm. I'm the same way.
It's probably a lot easier to be nice when you already have 40 in the bag.
I've already got 3 in there that may win the tournament with just those 3. I can't just blow a fuse and say, hey, you know what? The bank ain't all that far. Let's go.
Well, did he watch you catch those 3? He had to have.
I mean, he kind of might have, but he wouldn't look at me.
Yeah.
And if this had just been a casual guy looked up in the area, he'd have been like all up in it, watching it, and
right. He'd have wanted to see.
And he was not in the tournament, correct?
Hey, and if a man won't look at another man in the eye, man, it ain't no good.
He was not in the tournament though. That's what makes this whole thing weird.
He's out there messing around with a spin rod.
Yeah.
So in this my bad. But I just want to say this isn't the first incident you've had. Since then, and you're still having incidents with it.
And there's other people you're having incidents.
Other people, and this is what happens when you do what you did. But what is the answer to that? How does that stop?
It will never stop.
I'd like to know, but there's always going to be, if it even happens on the pro level or whatever, they know the rules and they know what they can get away with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
So you had another guy who's
I mean, where he's sitting right now is not a spot I've ever fished. I mean, I fished a few times. It's just a highway, and they're there right now.
Yeah.
And but it's just hilarious to me that he's out there guarding it. To the sticks on Rayburn when they drive by, it's hilarious because they know what he's doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he's got a very, very good reputation on it.
I mean, I do feel like those things eventually catch up to you, start to build a name, and it's not what you want to be associated with by any means. But I mean, you've had another guy that witnessed you catch some fish on there, and he's done well for himself off that spot, has he not?
He won the first outlaw.
Golly. Narrow that.
Look it up, folks.
Narrow that one down pretty quick.
It was foggy, and they let us trailer. And
how long after the BFL was that?
I thought I could come back later, and I leave, and they jump up and shut down in my wake and sit there the rest of the day.
Yeah. And they won the tournament.
They won the tournament. I mean, it's kind of my fault, but I don't ride on the spot. I like to run around, and then it's all my fault. I guess I
said he won the first
a better game plan than I did.
First outlaw of 2021, in case anybody missed that.
If you want to look that up.
That's
crazy.
An example of what not to do. What not to do.
But I mean, it worked out for him. I mean, it.
Said it worked out. I'm not even sure. I have to go look it up now.
I did have potential to be right up neck and neck with him. I lost some fish that typically I don't lose. I mean, just right after that, jumping spots, and it just was unfortunate. But I tried to get back on it 2 or 3 times, and they camped out there the whole time. But they shut down right in my wake because I didn't run far. I could see the wake I made, and they shut down in it.
That's impressive.
Hey, these guys got some balls.
They're savages out here, man.
I mean, seriously, these guys got some balls because it'll come to a point where they're gonna mess up one too many times.
They're gonna run into old Big Red. It's gonna happen.
The wrong one, dude.
They're definitely unfortunate for sure, but it's.
Oh man, I ain't got the.
Do it all at the end of the day is what 2 years are the same on Lake Sam River.
Right.
No,
you're right.
Oh, that is a blessing to it all because right now, I think we've all experienced. We're all tournament fishermen. It is not the same as it was last year going in.
Totally different lake. Totally different lake right now.
It is
a foot and a half lower than it was.
Details, but I mean we're totally different situations going on right now than
for sure.
With that being
last year, we've all talked, and it's we've got the same idea of what's going on. And I feel like we're pretty accurate on it.
No, I definitely agree with that, and like we've alluded to a couple times throughout the show here, the first BFL is tomorrow. The season you won it last year. Just real quick while we're discussing it, what's your guess for the weight tomorrow, and how much are you going to have?
Well, I do think the winner will touch 30.
You're thinking 30?
Wow.
I do, and it's only because Wyatt's in it.
Oh, here we go.
Cowboy of the year.
Here we go.
I think that there are some very, very large fish in catchable areas. And if a man can get that kicker bite and know what's going on, he can catch 30. And then after that, I think there's going to be a lot of
don't
just
say it.
below mid-20s.
What did you just say?
You think there's going to be a lot of 20s?
Hold on a minute.
It's hard to say, but I do think I think there'll be 3 or 4 people.
I wish I could post this tonight.
Hang on, go back to that. 3 or 4 people with over 20.
Oh, absolutely. Like not necessarily busting 25, but I think, and it's all if they cannibalizing each other in practice.
Yeah.
And it's hard to say. We're falling off a moon phase. We got the MLF guys out here practicing.
The
they're wrecking them for whatever reason. Their tournament ain't supposed to be
it's a busy lake.
Whatever's going on, and the BFL guys are bad about catching fish.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a few that I think that will catch up close to 25 pounds. I really
that's stout, dude.
Man, I don't want to.
It is, and I think it's because of the warm winter. There's a lot of big fish random big fish. Like there's a guy that could go up and never had a shot, usually in January, at a 10-pounder.
I'm shaking my head. No, I know you can't see me right now, but
I disagree as well. I see maybe 3 bags over 20 pounds.
I think that Derek has this outlook because he can catch that.
Yeah.
There's definitely some dead areas, but I really there's some big ones. There's a lot of great big gizzard shad that's running up shallow, like in the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
You can see them if you follow anything up towards the back of a pocket with a live scope. There is some really big wolf packs of gizzard shad, and there's still big shad following those.
Big bass, yeah.
No, there won't even be 5 bags over 20.
There's going to be a lot of big bass caught if people are fishing Raven right.
There won't even be 5 bags over 20.
I don't want to get hung up on the guest here too much on the BFL, but I'll say this, Derek. You won it last year. I think the lake was fishing better last year at this same time.
I think it's fishing worse, to be honest with you.
I thought the grass was healthier, so I feel like people were able to move around and actually be able to catch fish last year. And I
get that to a sense, but I feel like the warmer weather has bigger fish
in catchable areas.
Or more ahead of in catchable places.
I could see that, but I will say it dropped very quick last year.
And but how many people have figured that out?
Because I have
we're not releasing this video tonight.
I know. Jeez. We're giving away too much here.
We're not releasing this video tonight after this conversation.
No, right.
He said right.
The thing is, it could be tough, just like what I said. Like you got the MLF guys that are here, practicing.
We got a high school tournament.
I think the variables are stacked against you guys tomorrow for big numbers.
Yeah. How many are we going to be able to make it back? We're going to have like 30-mile gusts late in the afternoon. But anyways.
Well, I don't know, like those guys in those canoes, you know.
I hope I see you tomorrow, son. I'm going to burn you down in that basket.
He's going to be.
If you can burn me down, more power to you.
Kidneys are going to be bleeding, but he ain't got those air ride seats like you got.
I ain't even got the air ride. I mean, when you get,
what's the point in buying a Vex if you're not going to get air ride?
He's got a home phone, son.
They got the air ride for people that buy those boats is like over 80.
All that money you won, you couldn't get air ride seats? Come on, man. How much? Send Derek some air ride seats.
I like blew a motor up, 4 transom out of a boat. I mean, that money had places to go. I guarantee it.
Yeah, well. It always does. So let's talk about the future some more, not just the BFL. What is Derek Mundy going after this year? I mean, Kevin Van Dam's records, what are we shooting for?
Man, I don't know. I probably end up having to work a little bit more, though. Insurance starting to run out. But I'd like to get in at least that first Toyota. You know, but I'll probably end up having to work after that and then maybe try to jump in. I'd really like to fish that.
Well, you got the
open this fall. That would
the open.
Really
the open?
Yeah.
I'll see you again, son.
Yeah, I shall be there. But
that's
you
right.
you got the belt tournament. You'll be here for that one, right?
Oh yeah, I wouldn't miss that for nothing.
Okay. Yeah, I got you.
No, everybody's going to be at that one.
I mean, Brandon Belt's going to sign his jersey over to me.
He keeps telling me about this. I don't know why he thinks it's going to happen.
Sign the jersey over to you?
Yeah. He told me.
I mean, I was going to give him mine too, just for the heck of it. But
he told me that he was coming after Combs' single day record for this first BFL. And he's going to get Combs to sign him a jersey too.
What's the single day?
I might as well.
Combs has the heaviest MLF. Combs has the heaviest FLW/MLF single day bag ever weighed in history, and it was like 41 something.
Really?
And what was it? 40.
It ain't getting broke tomorrow. Them old big ones ain't good.
No, I want you to catch 40 tomorrow. I really want you to go and lean on everything you got.
Go ahead, Derek.
I mean, I kind of want to myself. But,
well, so
be a little realistic, you know.
So you don't.
If I break it, I hope Chuck Combs would give me a jersey. You know, I mean, that'd be pretty sweet of him.
I don't think he would.
He'd do it.
He'd be like, nah, man.
It'd be bills.
I mean, I might even pay him a little bit for it if he'd just do it.
So no opens, no Toyota Series, no professional career coming down the pipe for Derek Mundy?
It's hard to say. I'm not really looking for it, but if the right things was laid on my plate, I could look for it. I don't know if I'm in for all the hustle. You know what I mean? I don't know if you could go out there and fish for fun with that type of hustle that those guys got to do every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And it's not just the fishing hustle; it's the business side hustle that's probably harder.
I mean, you can't. Those MLS guys are practicing right now, and you could go out there and spot lock down in 70 foot of water by the dam on Razor, and there's dude gonna go up and mark you.
That's a fact,
That's the hustle, son.
When they see you, they are after you.
And I just, golly, I don't, because like when those big tournaments and stuff are going on, whenever I get to fish, I'm laid off. So I get to pick and choose my days. I'm kind of fortunate. But when there's them big tournaments like that, like today, I didn't go out and practice just because of that. I mean, you can't practice. If I see something on the graph that's interesting, I can't fish it because one of them's going to run by and mark me when they come by. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I agree.
It ain't just because they're like, oh, that's Derek. I go over there and mark him. They can tell who's locals. They ain't got all these pretty wraps and this and that. They see a dude just sitting offshore. They're like, oh, God, he's got to be on him. You know what I mean? And they go out there and, mark him and
come back and look at him.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of that goes on for sure, but
definitely.
No,
this is kind of the side of the tournament fishing that the public, I guess the fan of the sport doesn't really get to see, and it happens. And I'm glad we're talking about. I mean, this is what the juice is about.
Yeah,
because this is
local run-ins, but
I mean, not just locals on a professional level. Like
the run-ins with the locals.
Yeah. I mean, all this factors into tournament making decisions. I know myself and Derek, we've had this conversation. I know you're thinking the same way. Me and Shane are fishing team tournaments together this year, and we've had conversations about it. Like, there's certain areas that you just don't really feel like, for myself in particular, if there's a certain amount of boats around, if this guy's too close, if anyone is in the area, you don't feel comfortable going up there and hitting it, it may cost you a big bite throughout the day. It could cost you a key fish. It could cost you your whole bag. And then next thing you know, you get to the scales and you weigh in what you weigh in, and it doesn't really reflect what you're truly on. And no one really sees that. And I'm not making excuses for myself or anyone. I'm just saying that is the truth. And that is a fact. Even some guys that you see weighing a big bag, they could have maybe even caught a bigger bag because they lay off of them, for future events. And that you won't really see that on a pro level as much, but like on local levels, that stuff, it happens all the
time. We have to protect our water, or like there's things that happen at certain times of year that there's only a small, like probably less than 10% know exactly what's going on, and you can't just put that out there.
No, definitely not. And
there's really a lot of times a year there is a very small percent that really, 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 like they may get lucky, the rest of them, and be able to come up on something and catch a big bag, but they never can repeat it because they don't know what they did.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. That's not bashing anyone or anybody.
No, it's not bashing nobody. I was that same guy. I tell you straight up, last year was one of the biggest learning years ever for me fishing-wise. And, it's taught me so much. I learned so much over years, but last year was one of the biggest learning years of ever. And maybe the biggest when it's said and done.
Yeah,
that's scary.
The unknown is not that big of a deal. You just keep at it till you know it.
Yeah, you work, man. That's it.
There's no substitute for work. I'm a welder by trade, and it's pretty competitive on the pipeline. It's pretty competitive, and when I got thrown out to the wolves, there are these old guys that know how to weld and all that. That I could work harder than those guys so I could keep up with them. You know what I mean? I was willing to put in that work.
Yeah, put in the time.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, those, they never could sit there and run away throughout the course of a day. I could keep up with them. I mean, they were absolutely better welders, but they couldn't run me in the dirt because I would work harder than they would, and I would never waste no moves. And all that goes to fishing. If you can fish a fishing day, and when you hook that boat up to the trailer and you have not wasted, and you look back and have not wasted a move, even if you didn't do very well, you give your shot a great chance at that tournament.
Yeah. I can agree with that.
I mean, it's all about efficiency. I don't care. Like, and you look at guys that's been doing it for a long time, they get content, or don't have the time on the water. It's always that guy that's willing to work harder than the rest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree with that. Time on the water. Biggest takeaway for all you guys out there.
Yeah, when I'm away from work, I got a map of Raven pulled up, and I've run up and down that lake a million times and kind of know it like the back of my hand. But I've got a map of Raven up, and I'm changing the shading and looking at it. And, I mean, you have to constantly, if you want to compete on Raven, you have to do your homework.
That's any lake. It's not just Rayburn. It's any lake.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely. But I think Rayburn, I mean, I would love to I wish we could put our anglers against, like have some sort of regional type deal against anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere. I don't care where it's at.
Yeah.
And I guarantee we have people in the top 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no doubt that it's just such a special place because you can learn so many skill sets in one lake.
Yep.
Well, and I think we just have the most competitive field in the world. I mean, Faircloth has mentioned it, and that's an angler that I've always looked up to and feel like it's one of the best ever.
Oh, yeah.
And I've read a Bassmaster article where he talks about local guys that could compete in the elite,
Yeah.
100%.
with no problem.
For sure. Well, we had Dakota in here.
Opportunity to go to the elite, and those guys didn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and that dude right there ain't no slouch. I mean, how many times he made top 10 in angler of the year?
Oh, yeah.
Bunch.
I'm sure Combs would agree.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. What I mean, Faircloth is a fish catching son gun. He's won in so many different places.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan too, but I think he needs to go back to the 5-fish format.
Oh, I do too. I mean, he was the big bass. He caught more daily big bass, like I think ever in Bassmaster.
Yeah.
It could be different now. I haven't kept up with it. But I know at one time he'd weighed in more daily big bass than anybody in series history.
That's that Rayburn blood coming out of him.
He's from Jasper, Texas.
Yeah, he knows how to catch them. I mean, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure.
I think we're getting towards the end here, but I think a couple big takeaways from just talking with Derek and for the listeners, like especially some guys that are obviously going to want to listen to this episode to learn from what he had to say. I think some big takeaways are, look, this dude works his butt off, and a lot of guys that are consistent, not only on Rayburn, but across the country, they work their butt off, and there's no substitute for that work. And I think another takeaway from this episode, too, is there's a lot of drama that goes on out there that nobody sees, and a lot of times at a tournament weigh-in, when you see some results, they don't always reflect that because of some of the drama that goes on out on the water. I hear it all the time. I know y'all do too, where you'll see a guy like, well, I caught 13 pounds today, and such, he's good, and he only caught this much. Well, you don't really know what happened in that day. You know what I mean? Yeah. And everybody has bad days, but I'm just saying there's some big takeaways from this episode, and I think those are like the guys that fish a lot of tournaments and stuff, that. But a lot of people that don't and still are a fan of the sport, on a local and national level, there is so many factors that factor into it besides just the simple things like Mother Nature, as far as weather conditions and the fish. There's a whole, the anglers, we add a whole nother
variable
ourselves.
Set of variables, for sure. Well, man, we're going to let you off here and let you get your beauty rest because I know you're going to get your picture taken tomorrow.
Yeah.
I hope so. Just right above Wyatt.
As long as you beat Wyatt, you're good.
I got him. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I haven't looked at my boat number yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm ahead of Wyatt, so I get to hit his hole before he gets there.
Right.
It don't matter what boat number you are. I'll hawk you down.
I mean, I even got my co-runner texting me like he's really won't know what we're going to do.
Oh, dude, that guy is probably not going to sleep a wink. I got Derek.
Derek.
I'm bringing my portable GPS.
That's right. That thing ain't going to have time to punch nothing in. We're going to be on the fly.
Moving around, baby.
Well, man, we appreciate you coming on, and good luck to you tomorrow this season. I hope you get second in Brandon Belt.
Yes.
Because Wyatt not going to win that one. You know.
That's right. I don't know if old Brandon's going to give me the jersey swap for second. I don't know. I talked to him about
I'll give you the jersey when he gives it to me. You can have it.
Okay, that'll work.
You can have it. But, man, I appreciate it. Go call your co-angler. He's probably freaking out. Tell him where you're doing tomorrow and ask him about his net skills.
All right. Well, I would say good luck to y'all, but good luck to Wyatt anyways.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll see you tomorrow, boss.
All right, man.
Y'all have a good one.
All right, good night.
That was cool, man. That was...
Yeah, it was good.
He tried. Oh, dude. He said some stuff like, he mentioned a boat brand, a tournament winner. Like, if you pay attention hard enough, and I don't even know.
You're calling it back out.
I don't care. I don't know all the exact. I know one name. I don't know the exact names, but still, like.
Yeah, the point is not who it was. It's the fact that
everybody's going to want to know.
Yeah, the fact is that there's stuff like that goes on out there. I mean, that should not. Keep your head down. Go fishing. Keep your head down. Don't worry about who's around you, who you saw, or what you did, or whatever.
Yeah, fish for your fish, because if you try to fish for somebody else, you get in a bind quick.
Yeah.
You need to fish for your fish, man.
Fish for your fish, and I don't know, the defensive fishing, man. It's always going to be a thing.
I'd never heard of that until just recently. So
yeah.
Whatever. That's crazy. But
the thought had never crossed my mind. Like if I
found
a
go
good
sit
spot,
on a hole,
like I'm just going to sit there.
Never.
And protect it.
Never.
I mean, it is what it is. That's some of the variables we're talking about.
Yeah.
The boat number, the who else knows about it. Did I get a better boat number than whoever else may or may not know about the spot?
Is my co-angler a local?
Yeah.
Is my co-angler a guy fishing another event against me in 2 weeks?
Is the wind going to even let me go to it? These are all things that are out of your control. So going and playing defense just to try to keep other people from, that's crazy.
It is.
Crazy way of doing things.
Welcome to bass fishing.
Yeah, man. But, well, I know you got to get ready for
my co-angler
tomorrow
me up. My man Otis.
Otis?
I got Otis.
Otis. Enjoy that ride tomorrow on the kitty cat.
Come on, Otis. Feel the rush, baby.
Feel the rush. Oh, man. I don't know who we're going to have on next time. We kind of like jumped into January and we both went like fishing mode.
Yeah.
We put a lot of time in this week, and I'm not even fishing this weekend, but I'm going to put some time in.
It's time, baby.
For the next 2 months. There's a lot of big tournaments coming up and a lot of things I'm looking forward to, and I know you are too. So we're going to try to keep doing some more of these. We'll try to squeeze one in every week. That's the goal. I think Gleason may be our next guy. I don't want to put him on the spot there, but
he will do it.
Yes, he's been wanting to come in. The reason we haven't had him on is because he really wants to come in the studio.
Yeah, that's not even possible now.
Yeah, now the season started, we waited too long. I think he's in Florida right now.
He should be.
Yeah.
He better be.
You better be there, Silver Fox.
Anyways. Great episode, guys. Can't wait to see you again.
Next time.
Till next time.